Okay, welcome back to the third part of One Man's Faith. As we're looking at this authority, and right now we're answering the question, where did Jesus go when he died? Because if you and I die, we go to hell and we stay there. When Jesus died, where did he go? Well, with all the sin that was on him, he went to Hades. There's a good and the bad side. I just said that, remember Jesus said to the thief, he said, today you will be with me in paradise. Well, when they died, the thief went to Abraham's bosom, but Jesus, because he had all that sin, couldn't go to Abraham's bosom. He went to Hades because he carried our sins. Now, within the Bible, there are many typologies. In other words, things that are linked to other areas, okay? One of them is the Passover lamb, okay? We know that Jesus is the Passover lamb. Well, in Exodus 12, we have this given to us. It says in verse 5, your lamb shall be an unblemished male, a year old, and you will take him from the sheep and from the goats. You shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel is to kill it at twilight. Moreover, they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintel that forms a cross, believe it or not. They shall eat the flesh that same night, roasted with fire. And they shall eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Do not eat any of it raw or boiled at all with water, but rather roasted in fire. Okay, so that indication, that typology of the Passover lamb roasted in fire, that was the lamb that died for their sins, so the angel of death would pass over. It's the same as what happened with Jesus. All sin was placed upon him, and he went to the hell side of Hades. All right? He went to the hell side of Hades. So where did Jesus go when he died? He went to Hades. Now, where is hell? All right, this is question number 2. Where is hell? Well, let me give you some scriptures. Psalm 63:9. But those who seek my life to destroy it will go into the depths of the earth. Okay? Depths of the earth. Ezekiel 32, verse 18. Son of man, wail for the hordes of Egypt and bring it down, her and the daughters of the powerful nations, to the netherworld with those who go down to the pit. Whom do you surpass in beauty? Go down and make your bed with the uncircumcised. By saying that, he's saying those that did not have a covenant with God. Remember, it was a covenant. The circumcision was the procedure, or not the procedure that had to be performed to have covenant with God. Okay, that's why all the Israelites had to be circumcised as part of the covenant. So by saying, go down and make your bed with the uncircumcised, that's what the people with no covenant with God, they went to hell, or to Hades. Verse 24, Elam is there with all her hordes around her grave, all of them slain, fallen from the sword, fallen by the sword, who went down uncircumcised to the lower parts of the earth. To the lower parts of the earth. Amos 9. I'm just trying to give you some scriptures because I want you to see, this is, I'm not just, what I'm getting ready to tell you is not just from one little part of the Bible. Amos 9, verse 2. Through you they dig into Sheol, hell. From there will my hand take them, and though they ascend to heaven, from there I will bring them down. Matthew 12. But he answered and said to them, an evil and adulterous generation craves for a sign, and yet no sign will be given to it but the sign of Jonah the prophet. For just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the sea monster, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Where is hell? It is down. It's inside the earth. Listen, where do we know that there can be a lake and smoke and hot that sometimes come out? You see, volcanoes, show us that the inside of the earth is it's literally a lake of fire. It's a lake of fire. So where else could it be? A lake of fire, lava, spews out, and we see how hot and devastating it is. It in a sense even smells like hell. If you ever get close to, because of all the sulfur and other chemicals that are coming off of that lake of fire. So where's hell? It's down. It's inside what is now the earth. Many people who have had a testimony of dying and going to hell and coming back and then to have the hell scared out of them, so to speak, and accept Jesus, they all depict it going down into the earth. In many cases, it was so black they couldn't see, but they knew they were descending, going down into the depths of the earth. Okay, so where did Jesus go? He went down. He went to Hades. He went to Hades, and he stayed there 3 days. All right, now, if we had to go to hell forever when we died, why didn't Jesus have to go to hell forever? He was a man, okay? He was a man. Granted, he was without sin, but he was before himself, so to speak, okay? If you and I lived before Jesus, where would we go if we did not have righteousness or faith in God? Even today, where do we go if we do not believe in Jesus? We go to hell, and we stay there forever. But Jesus didn't. Remember, he says, I will not abandon your soul to Hades. All right? He spent 3 days. It said in Matthew 10, he said, just as Jonah had 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the sea monster, so will the Son of Man be there 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Okay? But he was only to stay there for a short period of time. Why didn't he stay forever like you and I would? I'm going to try to develop this for you. I want you to understand. But I'll give you the answer, and then I'll try and show you where it's coming from. Hell wasn't part of the punishment. All right? Now, let me show you. If you go back to Genesis, and hopefully I can find it because I didn't write this reference down. In Genesis, I think it's 3:7. Let me see. No, it's not 3:7. Okay, so it's got to be before. Maybe it's 2. Oh, 2:17. But from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat from it, you shall surely die. Now, the term surely die is really the same word twice. It's the Hebrew mut. In other words, it says, for in the day that you eat from it, you shall die. Now that sounds a little weird, but there's a reason. In other words, it's kind of saying, for in the day that you eat of it, dying you will die. In other words, it's talking about two deaths. And this is what I was mentioning just a little while ago. It's talking about two deaths. Dying spiritually, you will die physically. Dying spiritually, you will die physically. Okay? Jesus on the cross. The whole scene turned black. We know that that's when the sins of all mankind, past, present, and future, were poured upon him. And he said, my God, why have you forsaken me? It was spiritual death because all sin was poured upon him. He became like you and I. He was disconnected from God. That's the first death. James 2:26 says, for just as the body without the spirit is dead, so also faith without works is dead. Just as the body without the spirit is dead, his spirit died. If you have not accepted Jesus as Lord, your spirit is dead, and you are, in a sense, a dead person. And you will die physically and go to hell if your spirit has not been resurrected, made alive again. All right, that's the importance of having Jesus as Lord and walking in his way. All right, right after that, Jesus cried out, he said, it is finished. He died physically. That was the second death. Why did he say it was finished? Because all the punishment for man was accomplished. All the punishment for man was accomplished. He broke the curse on man, and death was done away with for those who accept Jesus as Lord. The atonement was done. The price was paid. It's interesting that coming up this Saturday is the Day of Atonement. Part of that is they take two goats. One of them is sacrificed, the blood is sprinkled, the other is set free with all the sins of Israel. Now I got to stop there because we got to take a break. We'll come back to that point and get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.